the great man himself, such attention might have given me an undue sense of my own importance. Aunt Sybil, who lived with the old dear and doted on his every whim, had scratched the missive in her quaint Victorian hand, all wispy loops and curls like fallen eyelashes. I was afraid to breathe on the paper in case the writing disappeared. The weekend party was to commence on the evening of Friday, the 13th of February, and to conclude, promptly, no doubt, on the Sunday after 4 o'clock tea. Refusal of this genteel invitation was obviously deemed unthinkable. I was demurely asked to apprise Aunt Sybil if I would be escorted by a gentleman friend, so that a separate bedroom could be prepared. What a lovely word. Escorted. It makes one think of seaside promenades, top hats and twirling canes, and delicious young men with evil on their minds. The last escort I had was the ward orderly, who wheeled me into outpatients the night I twisted my ankle running for a taxi. Have another eclair, Ellie. I don't mind if I do. The thick yellow cream oozed between my fingers. I wiped a splotch off the newspaper, and there it was, in big, bold, black letters, shouting just for me. Eligibility escorts, male and female. A highly legitimate service. Don't go alone. Pick up the phone. And get murdered, said a little voice in my ear. What for? Said another little voice. You don't have any money. You're not gorgeous. I finished the last eclair and wished I hadn't. How much would it cost to rent a man for the weekend? A packet, no doubt. But I had Mother's money. I rarely bought clothes or furnishings for the flat. As an interior designer, I got my kicks doing up other people's houses. Being selective was my business. I could apply those same professional skills to choosing a man, the kind who would enhance any drawing room decor. He would be tall and elegant, with finely moulded features and a pair of darkly arched, sardonic eyebrows. I had met such paragons often. Between the pages of regal romances, they were suavely named Julien Saint-Tropez or Edward Van Heckler, and were the perfect accessory for a girl wanting to make a nice impression. Fool! I crumpled the paper and picked up the empty plate. You'd land up with someone called Fred Potts, who moonlights selling floor polish door to door. As if on cue, the doorbell trilled. It was my roommate, Tobias Feline. A very conventional cat, he refused to come up the fire escape and through the window. Perched on the hall table outside my door, he would nudge the bell until I got the message and opened up. Tobias was not alone. My neighbour Jill from downstairs followed him in, which did not please him. Tobias hates company. His scowl said, "Kick the witch out!" Sniffing disgustedly at his food dish, he stalked off to sharpen his claws on the sofa in my tiny sitting room. Poor Jill was looking a little witchy. She had dyed her short spiky hair once too often. She uses the every other day kind, and it was now a sullen-looking green, which clashed with her eyebrows. I've tried to hate Jill because she is tiny with a capital T. 4'10", weighs less than I did at birth, and always sucking in her non-existent stomach, saying she simply must go on a diet. But she is also nice with a capital N. Dropping down on a kitchen chair, she kicked off her Cinderella-sized shoes and rolled a bottle of plum wine onto the table, stretched her skinny little arms above her head, and said she was exhausted. I wasn't surprised. Jill teaches self-defence to women who are afraid to go out alone at night, and she has a judo chop that would send Mr. Universe through 3 floors and bounce him back up again. Whoa! What a night! That wind! I practically flew home. Time for a warm-up. Fetch a couple of mugs, Ellie dear, and I'll pour us each a slug of plum yum-yum. Do you mind drinking alone? I reached into the cupboard and came back to the table with a glass marked Present from Blackpool. Sorry, but I don't want to curdle my eclair. What's up? You look a little sour already. Jill topped up her glass and looked at me intently.